Hello, I'm Hansi Parchment. You're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.
I think the uniqueness of the Reggae Girls is they embody the national motto of Jamaica, which is out of many one people. So when you look at the entirety of the Jamaica squad, you have dark-skinned girls, mixed-race girls, girls who have black and Asian in them. You also have the homegrown players, so like your Bunny Shaw, your Konya Plummer, your Denden Blackwood. So what that means in terms of from a grassroots perspective is girls who are born in Jamaica can look at a Bunny Shaw and hear that authentic accent and say, you know, if Bunny can make it, then so can I. Once you hear that authenticity, that raw Jamaican accent, they should be able to look at a Bunny Shaw who's now our captain to say, if Bunny can do it, especially if you come from the same community, the same parish as her, if she can do it, then so can we.
I want to give a big bless up to the Reggae girls out there. They ain't believing us. John did. Reggae girls, keep winning, keep inspiring. I know you're going to be great out there. World Cup. Sedella Marley, number love. Bless up from DJ Khaled.
And I represent for the Reggae girls. You know what I mean? Big up on yourself every time. Especially if you're qualifying for the World Cup back to back. You know what I mean? Sedella, big up yourself. One love every time. You know the thing go. Blessing off a flow like a river. Blessing off a flow like a river. What the Reggae girls do? Left them name night earth like a queen. Me have to big up the top soccer team. You know Massacre represent. Jamaica supporting it every time. You know the thing go.
Hello, I'm Hansi Parchment. You're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.
I feel like I'm from UK, you know.
See the moonlights on the town. Whoa, I'm getting ready. Talawa TV is in the town. Whoa, I'm getting ready. Got a corner on the telephone. Yeah, this is the Shout Out the Messenger, and you're watching Talawa TV with the host and best. Davis, take it away.
My followers, how are you all? Good afternoon, good evening, possibly good morning. All depends on where you are in the world. Welcome back to another live stream. Do get friendly with the comment section, guys. The title's there in the over on YouTube. I don't think you guys are watching it anywhere else. And clearly, this is part of my call-in show. I did ask you guys yesterday if you want me to do a call-in show. But when I looked at the poll around, let's say 8 p.m. UK time, there basically enough of you didn't vote for me to come back and do a call-in show last night. So apologies to those of you who did. By now, in case you guys haven't figured it out, I usually have my show planned out in terms of topic of conversation, research, and so on by the latest 8 p.m. If I don't have anything by then I tend to just sit back and just not do a show, because last thing I want to do with these live streams is to misinform you due to laziness and not doing my own research. Obviously, misinformation can happen at any point, but you know, if it does happen, hopefully it doesn't happen, but if it does happen here and there, then trust and believe that it definitely isn't intentional. So those of you who voted and said that you want a call-in show, please don't disappoint me. Please do come into the studio when you feel comfortable to do so. Hopefully tonight, because like I said, it's supposed to be a call-in show. So hopefully you guys utilize the comment section there. I did drop the link to the live stream, so you're more than welcome to hop into my studio. You can see it right there. I pretty much keep it quite simple. I keep it quite simple. My only rule is to keep it respectful. That is for myself and also to the guys there in the comment section. You know, obviously, if we're talking about any players or player, then please do go ahead and keep it respectful. Make it appropriate. Don't want no inappropriate comments of any given nature. And I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, just be responsible for your words and your actions as well. Let's see what you guys are saying there in the comment section. Your first run through the door. I hope you're in good health. Johnny Powell. Good day to yourself, Johnny Powell. I hope you're in good health. Guys over there who are silently watching, whatever the reason might be, I hope that you guys are in good health as well. How am I? It's a good question. Surprise, surprise, I'm not as tired as I usually am. I tend to be extremely tired on these live stream, but I don't know what's gone on today. Not that I'm complaining. I'm not feeling the tiredness yet. I'm usually feeling just mentally exhausted, but today I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling good. Let me know how you guys are feeling there in the comment section. Again, do feel free to hop on the live stream, especially if you voted that you would last night. I will be keeping an eye peeled to see who stays to their word, who's a man of their word, who's a woman of their word. I'm going to be knowing the answer to that come the end of the live stream. So my headline, you guys should have already seen my headline, what the bunny is going on. And I'm trying to put two and two together to try and like understand what's going on. But before we get into Bunny Shaw, let's just stick a pin in it really. And actually I should probably switch over to my other headline. I guess I could just pause the conversation around Bunny Shaw temporarily. I will discuss Bunny Shaw towards maybe the ending of the show. Hopefully tonight I can maybe sit here for let's say under an hour, maybe no more than 45 minutes. I don't know, but let's just see how tonight's live stream goes, especially as it relates to, as I said, you guys wanted a live call in, and I've made it my duty to do so. If you haven't hit the like button already, I'm not really sure what you guys are waiting on. It doesn't cost you a penny. Do you go ahead? I've got like an itchy nose again. I tend to have itchy nose every time I'm doing a live stream. All the other times I'm completely normal, completely fine, but I notice when it comes to these live streams, my nose tends to itch. Don't know the reason for that, but I'll try and figure it out. So as I said, guys, do go ahead and make use of the comment section and my link to my live stream. Right. So let me know how you guys are doing. Let me know what you guys did yesterday. For me, I try to stay in the loop as it relates to the Ballon'dor, this year's Ballon'dor. A lot of talking being done yesterday. Let me know if you guys caught up on the Ballon'dor. I've got a couple questions of my own that I want to put to you guys there in the comment section, and also to those of you who are silently watching. Hopefully one or two of you can call into the show and give me some answers, or maybe if you're not feeling too confident, you could go ahead and Gunner's boss, you was one of the people who voted and said that you want a live stream, right? You said that you would call in to tonight's show, right? If I did a call-in show, you said you would call in. So I've got my eyes firmly locked in yourself, Gunner's boss. Don't think you've ever been on one of my shows before in terms of being in the studio. Hopefully you're a man of your words and you actually stick to your guns and pop into the studio. So as I was saying there, guys, not sure if you guys caught up with the Ballon'dor from last night. All the biggest talking points tend to lean towards the men's Ballon'dor and Rodri taking home the illustrious title. Do let me know how you guys feel about that one. So where do we start? As I said, I do want to before I segue and talk about Khadija Bunishaw, do actually want to talk about the Ballon'dor. Should have done that last night, but unfortunately not enough of you guys voted, so I kind of just held back and decided not to do the show. So the Ballon'dor, shall I just go ahead and get up last night's big winners? Let's just go ahead and pop up the big winners from last night there for you guys on screen. Let's go. Where do we start? I think that is the right one. So you guys should be able to see this one on screen for you. Bit of history there for the Spaniards, the Spanish. It does say here, for the first time in history, one nation has won the men's and women's Ballon'dor awards. Now, temporarily, I cannot see you guys there in the comment section because I'm actually looking at the screen in front of me over on X. Formerly known as Twitter. So the Ballon'dor, those of you who aren't familiar with the Ballon'dor, you should. But as with my live streams, I do like to add context. I also like to talk to people as if they are completely clueless, and that's not to be belittling. I'm aware that not every one of my subscribers and viewers, listeners, are in the loop when it comes to football. Not all of you guys watch football religiously, but you do somehow, for whatever the reason might be, you do choose to give me the support, which I greatly appreciate. So what I'm about to say, temporarily, quite short, doesn't actually it's probably nothing to you guys there who follow football religiously. So as I was saying, as it relates to the Ballon'dor, and for those of you who are unaware, I think it's safe to say football's biggest awards evening, right? Illustrious awards even. And as it relates to the ceremony itself, the Ballon'dor is an award show, I should say, which honors the year's best players, coaches, and also club in recognition of their outstanding achievements for that particular year. And it has been held annually by French magazine France Football since 1956, and also celebrates the top scorers, goalkeeper, young player, and humanitarian. Now we're going to actually stick a pin in it at some point and look at a couple of those awards there, because it actually inspired me to do tonight's live stream just based upon a couple of the things that we already knew, and some of the things that unfortunately another year's come by and it does stick out like a sore thumb. So my first question to you guys there in the comment section: has this year's Ballon'dor been the most talked about in terms of the social media generation, right? Has it been the most talked about? Because I feel like this, for me, in terms of the whole huffing and puffing around the male winner, that be Manchester City and Spain's Rodri, it feels like it's probably been the biggest outrage to date within the social media landscape, right? And also, for what it's worth, another question there for you guys, and I'm going to try and add some meat to the bones of what I'm saying. Should the female players and coaches boycott the Ballon d'Or? Yes, you heard that correctly. So 2 questions there for you guys. Has this year's Ballon d'Or been the most talked about on social media? And in terms of the biggest outrage, obviously Vinny and Real Madrid, and also Rodri. And again, final question there: should the female players and coaches boycott the Ballon d'Or? That's my first 2 questions there for you guys. Let's see them pop back over. Alric, I should say. My apologies, I butchered your name. I'm off to a terrible start. I am well. My family are good. I would like to extend that onto you and your family. I hope you guys are in terrific health. Long may it continue. I am doing good. Hit that like button. So please, like the man said, guys, do go ahead and hit the like button. So let me continue. And was watching listening to the show, and for context, the only reason why I even cared about the Ballon d'Or, 2 years on the trot, surprise, surprise, it is obviously for our compatriot, our countrywoman, Miss Khadija Bunny Shaw. She does not need no introduction, but in case you're not aware of who Bunny Shaw is, clearly you're not familiar with my platform if that's the case, but no worries, I will give you a gentle reminder on who she is. But again, going back to the main talking points, plenty of players there clutching at their pearls and swinging their beautiful handbags last night, and it made me laugh. It really made me laugh. I was just sitting back and I was thinking to myself, there's a clear elephant in the room, and as usual, the elephant doesn't get addressed. And I find it that in most cases, when there's an elephant in the room, people tend to not pay attention. It's a bit like someone once said, if the ish isn't at your doorstep, no one will care until that problem becomes their own. Then all of a sudden, everyone is like up in arms. So the elephant in the room, for the most part, doesn't affect the majority of the room, right? And that elephant for me is in relation to the equality or lack thereof. And it did make me ask myself, as the ceremony progressed, I was like, where is the equality for the female players? And hopefully it will make sense as I go along into my live stream, or maybe you guys already know that, but it goes without saying, it is no surprise that we are still in the international break there where women's football is concerned. Most certainly yesterday where we had the Ballon'dor ceremony awards evening, it was still during the international break. Today is what, the 29th for you guys, so I believe, if I'm not mistaken, today would have been the final day where those clubs, they would have played their respective friendlies apiece. Unfortunately for our Reggae girls, weren't involved in any match today. That is just down to the pure laziness of the wonderful Jamaica Football Federation. Basically, every country there given the opportunity to maximize the usage there of scheduling 2 international friendlies. But you know what the JFF are like. Why not sneak out a bargain? Why do 2 when you can have 1? Makes no sense to me, but it makes sense to them, because obviously the women's team are pitch perfect and we don't need practice games because we're at our ultimate best and there's no room for improvements and so on. But as it relates to yesterday's evening, again, talking about the inequality there, I think if you follow the women's game and you follow the Ballon'dor, you'd have noticed that yet again for the second successive year there, the Ballon'dor was held during the international window where the women's game is concerned. Now, obviously, that's a major concern, right? Massive concern. You don't need me to spell this one out for you because we've put in the Ballon'dor inside the hosting the Ballon'dor inside the FIFA international window for women's football. Basically, what you're basically doing is putting your middle finger up to women's football first and foremost. Do it politely, give them a French kiss if you must. Don't do that. That's sexual assault. But pretty much what they're doing is basically forcing these professionals, players of the highest caliber, highest quality, and their coaches to do something that is unthinkable. And I say it's unthinkable, unimaginable, because you wouldn't see it in the men's game. What they're actually doing is forcing these young girls and women to basically choose between country and potentially missing out or not being able to embrace wonderful moment or moments. Because the Ballon'dor, yes, you know, we've been quite fortunate to sit here and talk about Khadija Bunnishaw back-to-back Ballon'dor on the trot, but football is a funny game and you don't know what's around the corner. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And, you know, unfortunately, injuries, for example, can happen at any given time. So, yes, we're appreciative of the fact that a Khadija Bunnishaw is a back-to-back Ballon'dor nominee. And as I said, we will talk about Khadija Bunnishaw in a short while. But just continuing with what I'm saying as it relates to last night's spectacle, everything that happened within the 4 walls of the Ballon'dor. I might have to stick a pin in it though, because I can see someone in my studio. I actually think it is Gunner's boss in my studio. So let's try and see if I can bring him up. I don't want him to stay behind in the studio for too long. I'm not sure how long he's been there, but I've only just noticed him. So let me just pause for a second, guys. Mr. Gunner's boss, can you hear me? I think you might be on mute there.
Yes, Crystal, good night.
You,
to you and your beautiful people in the comment section, the viewers, the viewers, them, my friend, them, big up on yourself, you know, and I don't know when I come up here trouble, you know. Crystal, what's up? What's popping, girl?
It's good to put a face to the name and also a voice to the name as well. So, I don't know if I've said this yet directly to yourself, but thank you for your continuous support. It does not go unnoticed and it's most certainly felt.
Yeah, man, we love you. I love what you do, you know. I love you trying and you're not giving up, you know what I mean? So keep up the good fight and you're putting out the good work for the ladies, man. For real, we appreciate that, you know.
Thank you, Gunners.
I personally, you know, so that is it. I love what you do and I love the way you do it. So don't know where I'm always gonna be here with you.
Thank you. I need some firepower. So, you know, if you bring the cannon in the comment section, fire away. I like that.
I'm not seeing in the comment section right now. What
comment section? The guys are just saying hi. Yeah, they it's pretty quiet in the comment section for the time being, but I know, you're blessing me with your time. I don't want to take up much of your time, but
No man. It's all good. Cause me they are kind of nervous. Look like my Yankees about to get sweeping at the first series. I'm not feeling that.
all right, let me try and make you a little bit more calmer. Ballon'dor, did you manage to catch the Ballon'dor last night?
Nope.
You didn't. You must know the winners though. The winners on screen, right, for male and female.
I can't see what happened. I can see the screen. Who are these people? Let me see if I can pull it up. Hold up there.
I don't worry. I got you. Don't worry. Keep your eyes where you can where with what you're doing at the moment. So
What?
we have the Spaniard there, right? We have two of the biggest name in world football. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but there's been a lot of conversation around who should have won the male Ballon d'Or. So the male Ballon d'Or went to Manchester City's Rodri. I'm sure you're familiar with Rodri.
Yeah, I watch. Listen, I watch the game sometime.
Yeah, and the big talking point around that is couple handbags being flung because some believe that it should have been Vinicius Junior of Real Madrid. And in terms of the women's game, you have Bonmanti. She's the one who was crowned. She's actually back to back women winner of the women's Ballon d'Or there. So there's the context there that you might have missed out on. But in terms of the question that I was asking, Rodri, do you think he's a deserved winner over Vinny?
I mean, right now, the way how the game play now, yeah, at the statistic, me don't have to look on for decide that. And truth be told, most of my football information when me get more than Sunday morning, we catch a game because me not catch no game on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Sunday morning, me catch the game, then we go on, and then right after, even before some games finish, the football start. And I know Jamaica me live now, and when me live at England, me enjoy the football daily because it was that or some cricket, But when you go to America now, you find a whole lot of different sports. So
Understood.
most
Understood.
of me now go around the thing. Most of my information I'm getting at the football world right now with the reggae girls and the reggae boys. Right now these spaces me get them.
Yeah. That's understandable. I think just like you said,
You
within this space, you're pretty much spoiled for choices in terms of content creators giving you the necessary information. So yeah, that makes sense. I decided to ask the guys in the comment section and yourself about the two winners there. And I think in terms of the women's winner, again winning back-to-back Ballon d'Or, where Bonmanti is concerned, pretty much silent. I think it goes without saying that she's a deserved winner. But again, the bulk of the talking point there centers around Rodri. I don't know how you guys feel in the comment section, but do feel to chime in. I'm going to actually ask Gunner's boss the second question. Maybe he might have to sit back and allow me to continue with the rest of the show because, like he said, he didn't watch the Ballon d'Or last night. But I think it's safe to say, I don't want to speak for the women, but it's safe to say there's a lot of repeated disrespect where the Ballon d'Or is concerned for the women's footballers. And I was wondering if do you think that female footballers and their coaches should boycott the Ballon d'Or? Again, for context, second year on the trot, it's been held during the international women's football break there.
So let me ask you a question before me go back to that. Is this female right? In your opinion, is she the best player in the world in the female football? Where she play football, the domestic league?
She cannot. She's in Liga F. I do not think there's anyone in their rightful mind that could say that she does not deserve to be crowned back to back. winner. That's why I said, like, in terms of by the way, before I forget my manners, big up yourself there, Deemo, Dre. Deemo, you did something that was so applaudable months back. I want to take my hats off to you. You don't have a bloody clue what I'm talking about, but you did something that was so courageous within this YouTube landscape as it relates to a certain player, which I don't really want to mention on tonight's show. But all I can say is in terms of allyship there, big up yourself. I don't know if you know exactly what I'm talking about, but you did something that was very applaudable months back, maybe even a year ago. So I don't even think you have a clue what I'm on about. But yeah, going back to Manti, I don't think there's anyone there that's going to argue with her being crowned the champion. I'm going to talk some more about her later on in the show. But as I said, a bit like Rodri, Spaniard, plays for Spain, and she's also plays for Barcelona as well. So I don't think there can be any what do you want to call it, pullback or any resentment towards being crowned the back-to-back women's Ballon'dor winner. Definitely, I don't know how the guys in the comment section feels, but I can't see anyone disagreeing with that.
Okay, now back to the male thing now. So the Ballon'dor, right, is given out based on last year leading up to present, right?
It's basically says that it is. I don't know about present, but it's basically based on the year's best players, coaches, and clubs in recognition for their outstanding achievements. So I actually don't know when the cutoff point is, if that makes sense, right?
Okay, that's the part now when we want.
So this would be say the 2024 edition. You got the 2023 edition and 2024 edition. I'm assuming much of that is to do with what happened last year, because this season has only just begun, right?
Yes, and last year Man City won the Premier League, right? So most likely, and still they are on top of the league right now, are close to. When I look on the standings as me I speak to you, so you can tell me if them the first or second. I know them the right up top there. So with all of those accomplishments and achievements, it's only right, because I mean, even though it's a team sports, the Ballon'dor is given out to the best performer throughout the year, throughout the season, and it's supposed to be on a winning team, most likely than not, right?
I like that. Yeah. I like that. I like that.
So if it's on a winning team and they are looking at it, and this Spaniard are the best player on the winning team, or the most outstanding player on the winning team, it's only right.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, because I agree with yourself, and also Deemo Dre. Deemo Dre said that Rodri was clear, and I wholeheartedly agree with that. Like Rodri, I've said this on my live streams before. Other than Pep Guardiola, I think he's the most important asset to that Manchester City team. Right? It's funny enough that they're actually surviving without him. Maybe some people might say they're surviving just by the skin of their teeth, but he is, I believe, outside of Pep Guardiola, their most important assets. This is a man who has won back to back Premier League titles. In terms of that what do you call it, the 2023 campaign, 2023 to 2024 campaign, obviously we know that he won the Premier League again 4 times on a trot there with Manchester, completed the 4 times on a trot there with Manchester City. And in terms of Spain, he also went along and won the European Championship. So he's doing it both at club level and also at international level. So it made me scratch my head several times as to why people are so, and it's not even people, it's mainly players themselves. I'm assuming, it's either players who have played with Rodri at club or international level, who are just not best pleased with the fact that Vinny didn't win the biggest night's honor.
So who are the voters? The writers and and journalists and stuff like that.
Yeah, journalists and so on. So it's not as if it's I'm not really sure. You know what it is? As I said, again for context, I feel like there's bigger stories there in the awards ceremony, last night's award ceremony, that could have been discussed, probably another opportunity missed. But as I said, as it relates to these things, people only ever talk about certain issues if it's relatable to them or if it directly falls into their laps, because I don't want to put things into people's mind or try to brainwash people to get people to be on my side. But if memory serves me well, I think of late, probably the biggest robbery to a Ballon'dor not going to the rightful winner was some years back. It might have been around about the pandemic time where Lewandowski should have won the award and he didn't win it. I think that is probably, and I didn't see, maybe I was just asleep. I didn't see this big uproar and players swinging their handbags and all the huffing and the puffing. I was like, if we're going to keep it real here, the biggest robbery, if we're talking about players that was just unjustifiable, I think maybe Robert Lewandowski. I don't know how you feel about that, and I don't know how the guys in the comment section feel about that.
I mean, at the end of the day, I never find myself into those situations where I am complaining about who win what, because me no make those decisions, so I just enjoy it as me go along, I am just there for the ride. I'm not that emotionally invested into these people and these things. I just there for the entertainment of it. So maybe the people them were big laugh for me, for the people them we are cry over this man not winning it over Vinny Jr. Vinny Jr. is a talented player, right? He at Liverpool, right?
No.
Where Vinicius Jr. play at?
In that Real Madrid.
Oh, Real Madrid. Oh, yeah, Real Madrid. Him there.
Yeah.
All right then.
Yeah.
Vinicius Jr. I thought that was Deemo player from Brazil. Where the Brazilian were down at Liverpool?
I think you're probably talking about Firmino, but he's not there no more.
Okay.
I think
That's how much I know.
No. It's fine.
I do know where Aaron Rodgers played in the NFL and where he played in college and where he's playing today.
Listen, this is the platform where you can come and not be. I've got Deemo in the studio. I'm gonna bring him on screen. Mr. Deemo, how are you, sir?
Hey, what's up, Crystal? It's been a minute.
Deemo, I want to say thank you so much for what you did like over a year ago. You don't have a clue. You don't have a clue what I'm on about, do you?
Wait, let me just tell Gunner's boss big up himself before, because I have no big up yourself, Gunner's boss. But no one disrespect the panel. But Crystal, I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Like my loss.
I know you're lost because it happened so long ago, and to you it meant nothing, but to me as a woman hearing you speak, you made me very proud to say, you know what, this guy's one of us. He's a Jamaican man and he thinks he's quite balanced with his views.
Okay.
And, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I mean, listen, you said that to me it means nothing. I don't know what it is, but if I was talking about it, it meant something. So
I heard you. Okay, let me try and bring you on the same page as me. I heard you speaking about Mason Greenwood, and yes.
Okay,
yes,
all right. Yeah, I know. I get it.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
And yeah, I get
it.
That
was the first time that I heard a man within our YouTube space speak so objectively and made total common sense. Although I felt like you was being pushed back a bit, but I was proud to see that you stood your ground and just said, look, and it is what it is. You don't have to be on board with me. It's my opinion and I'm not changing it. So it was refreshing to listen to, you know?
Yeah, man, big up yourself. I mean, listen, it is what it is. I mean, you know, like the thing about opinions is everybody have them opinions, and 100%. You know, we don't argue facts. You know, facts are facts. You can't debate facts. We argue opinions. So everybody have them own opinions, and we just argue, and then we just move on. Agree to disagree, move on. That's it. But
I like that.
But I just wanted to talk about this outrage, right? Like I have been like, may I try fight everybody about this Vinicius and Rodri thing, because to me it's just kind of ridiculous. And I'm not speaking as just a Spain fan. I mean, I'm obviously, you know, biased toward Spanish players, but this was so clear to me that we don't understand the outrage to the point where people say a racism. Why
Mm,
Vinicius not get the Ballon'dor? Racism? Like really,
mm.
Crystal?
But
I
Deemo,
heard that. I'm glad you touched on it because I was thinking, do we really want to go down that route? Do we really want to go down that route?
but
It,
but but
yeah,
Deemo,
go on.
excuse me. Let me chip in for a minute right there. How is racism and they about Spanish people?
No man, he's Brazilian.
He's Brazilian, but they still Spanish. They Spanish. What you call
Yeah,
them?
but him black and Rodri white.
Oh,
So
based on complexion.
yeah, so and the thing is, Vinicius always fighting against racism, and he's outspoken about racism and trying to end it and all of this stuff and whatever. Him really outspoken about that side, that kind of stuff. But when it comes to the facts, like the facts are what Rodri did for club and country was miles. I mean, I'm not gonna say miles because the country thing put it way ahead, right? Because his contributions for club and country allowed him to win the Euros, the Premier League, the UEFA Super Cup, and the FIFA World Cup, right? He was the most consistent player in the Premier League. And because he's a CDM, he doesn't get the respect that he deserves. If it was a Erling Haaland and blah, 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 and Kevin De Bruyne and all these things, people would have said, oh, yeah, man, maybe it's fair. But because he's a CDM, it's like, no, man, you can't give a CDM over the Vinicius Jr. with the tricks and all of these things. He was horrible for Brazil in the Copa. The man literally was horrible. Like, him not do nothing. While the mainstay, I mean, I know Roger came off in the finals, and I think your boy came on Crystal and scored that goal for us. His name Marino or whatever. What's his name?
Yeah, Marina, Mikel
Yes,
Marina.
that guy that nobody knew.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Actually.
he came on and he filled in because Spain's system is obviously you just fit in like a hand in a glove. But Roger was the mainstay, and everything that he did, he was the heart and soul of both Manchester City and Spain. Like, you can see the missing link when he doesn't play. Manchester City could
Hundred.
win a game. You know what I mean? And him just was the man. He was the MVP of the Euros. Like, we don't understand what people want. He was literally the MVP for the Euros, and he won all of those other stuff before. Vinicius Jr. probably was there. They were neck and neck with Jude Bellingham, him, and Rodri. But then, when it came to the countryside of things, England, Jude Bellingham was not that great for in the Euros, and then Vinicius was horrible for Copa, and that just tipped the scale to Rodri. Like, it was easy. So I don't understand the uproar and all of this stuff. People mentioning Carvajal. Like, what? Why would I? Okay, he won the same trophies as him. Like, okay, cool, but he wasn't the MVP of the Euros. Like, that doesn't make no sense. He was not the MVP of the Euros. Rodri was.
I think you hit the nail on the head, and it's something I talk about. You brought up 2 points, which I was just like, okay, yeah, we're definitely thinking on the same lines in terms of the racism. Now, we're not going to, like, just like you said, we're not going to overshadow Vinicius Junior's fight to. I'm not going to say he's trying to eradicate racism, because I don't think it's going to be
Yeah.
eradicated. But he is standing up he's making a stance, which is definitely applaudable. But yeah, the whole and that's not to say that the whole racism arguments coming directly from Vinny, but just people talking about it's racism. I think you're correct in the sense that Rodri is largely overlooked because of his playing position.
Yep.
It's not that sexy position. Like, if he was an attacker, no one would be sat here arguing that he should not be awarded with the Ballon'dor, because he's fully deserving of it. Without him, Spain probably wouldn't have done what they did. Manchester,
Exactly.
you see what I'm saying?
And you want to know the funny thing, Crystal, in terms of numbers? During the time when the Ballon d'Or is supposed to be, selected and looked at, Rodri played 63 games, 63 games for club and country, with 12 goals and 14 assists for a CDM. That's madness, 12 goals and 14 assists. So it's not like he wasn't even putting up numbers, because he was very involved in a lot of the stuff. And he actually played 100 key passes for Manchester City. Like, it's not like he wasn't doing stuff, So even though he's a CDM, he was putting in attacking numbers as well.
100%, 100%. But I don't know. I'm not going to agree with them on this one. I am disappointed to see how they've reacted, especially like Real Madrid. I think it's distasteful because I think it goes without saying, Liverpool, one of the kings of Europe, but in terms of superiority, I think we can all politely agree that Real Madrid is like the king of all kings, right?
Easily, yeah.
And for them to the way they behaved last night, I just thought it was just so distasteful and disrespectful to
Yeah.
Rodri as
It's
well.
horrible, man.
I've never seen anyone like do anything like that or any club do anything like that. Deemo, maybe yourself and the guys in the comment section and Gunners Boss can correct me, but I've never
Nah,
seen.
I've never seen that. Like, I mean, Liverpool could have done that when they snubbed Van Dijk that year, because I have no idea. Like, Van Dijk was the best player on the planet that year, like literally the best player, and somehow Messi win the award. I mean, it was set out for Messi and Ronaldo anyway. And
Always it
after
is
a while, the Ballon'dor pretty much became a popularity contest after a while.
100.
The year when Madrid won it, like it was, I don't know, like I don't get it. There was a year Ronaldo won it when Real Madrid never even win a trophy. Like after a while, it became a popularity contest, right? And so I'm not really in uproar about who wins the Ballon d'Or anymore. But this one, with all this rage when somebody who actually deserve it win it, yeah, I had to, cause I just got digging the stats and I was like, why people creating a big scene? Like them not watch him for. I don't know if they don't think that the country, as in playing for Brazil, was a part of the decision making. Because maybe if it wasn't, then people could have an argument. But
Yeah,
they actually look on what you do for your country. And Rodri was inspirational in both club and country. So I
100.
don't know. Real Madrid are, listen, I hate them with a passion. Because you know what them do to Liverpool. Like, what was that? 3 Champions League straight?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, and
yeah.
then them, Sergio Ramos to Salah and all of that stuff. So I despise them, right? But
Mm.
I mean, that was very petty what they did, and I expect better from Carlo Ancelotti as a great
Oh my
in
God,
the
yes.
game.
Yes, yes. Even Carlo Ancelotti, just like you said, echoing what you said, did not expect that from him. For me, definitely, I don't know how you feel about this, but I feel like he's the greatest manager in football. I said that on some live streams some weeks back, and I still, double down on that he's the greatest. I can't see another manager that's better than him. I don't know if that's something that you disagree with.
I mean, he's up there. Listen, for some reason, I have Sir Alex as just the greatest, just
You've
because of
really?
his dominance and stuff. Like, listen, I hate Manchester United and all of that, but I literally watch him, dethrone Liverpool and
Yeah, that
13 Premier Leagues, and people consider the Premier League as the best league in the world to dominate like he did, and then won Champions League and the treble. And listen, it's close, but I'll probably give it to Sir Alex. But the Don is right up there as well.
Do you know why?
Listen, I factor in when Carlo came to Everton, and he was horrible. So don't forget he was at Everton the other day.
Good shout, good shout. But again, Demo, like we gotta understand that he's done it in other leagues as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Carlos other leagues done it with other clubs as well. It's not to like throw shade on what Sir Alex Ferguson done, but for me, you look at his illustrious honors there,
yeah,
and he's done it with multiple clubs, multiple
yeah,
leagues. Been doing it like back since like what the 90s, and he's
yeah.
still relevant. How the hell has he been like winning things from the 90s and he's still relevant?
Yeah,
Like,
man, he's right up there. He's right up there. If you push me, Crystal, I'll probably on Monday I'll probably say Carlo, and then on Tuesday I'll say Sir Alex, because it's really very close. And whoever you have at the top, it really, it's really
yeah.
a throw of a dice.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. I'm trying to think of a couple of the other talking points there, but I think the biggest one definitely, unless I'm incorrect, is the snobbish attitude there towards, Liverpool. I'm not Liverpool guys. Basically Real Madrid, for context, none of their representative was present at last night's Ballon d'Or
That's crazy.
ceremony. crazy to think that they are supposed to be like the standard bearers. You know, people are supposed to be looking at them and admiring them and mirroring their behavior. I don't know if they're still a little bit salty because Barcelona gave them a hiding, and then I mean Barcelona turned them upside down, gave them a
Yeah, for
spank.
real.
So
For real.
maybe they're a bit bitter over that as well, you know?
But I mean, was it just the president's decision not to send the team? Because I find it strange that Spanish players who played for Real Madrid wouldn't want to go and support Rodri, who is a Spanish player.
You know what? You've hit the nail on the head there. I like the way you spun that. That's a very, very good question. It almost feels as if it was something that was thought of, and then maybe you're trying to, you know, when you're trying to like, call someone's bluff, but it just doesn't
Mm-hmm.
go according to plan, and you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to save yourself from looking embarrassed. So
Yeah, yeah,
it's Vinny isn't going, then everyone has to back him, even if you
yeah.
don't want, still have to back him. You
Yep.
know,
Yep.
because Kylian Mbappe is held in France, is done by the French. Surely you would want to be there.
Exactly.
It's not the first time that he wouldn't have won the Ballon'dor anyway, so you should want
Mm-hmm.
to be there. Jude Bellingham as well. That's the highest finish of a Englishman since what is it? Is that since Michael Owen?
Was it? Yeah, I think it's since Owen. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Michael Owen, right? Because I can't think of another. It's either Michael Owen or Lampard. It might have been Lampard actually. I think it might have been since either Michael Owen or Lampard. I think my mind's telling me Lampard for some reason.
Well, let's
Um,
work with that.
yeah, but it might not be correct. But the point I'm trying to say is, even for an Englishman, they're not privy to seeing themselves come so close to winning the Ballon d'Or. So why wouldn't you want to embrace that moment? That's probably an opportunity that you might not get again, because football is unpredictable.
Crystal, let me tell you this. You see, and more Gunners, boss, because I'm going to leave. You know, it's just that. Listen, I want to be here a lot, but you like everybody. There's about 50 million channels I'm subscribe to. I just can't keep up with everybody. It is just so crazy. But let me just say this, right?
Yeah.
It's probably an uncomfortable conversation. Vinicius Jr. probably not even supposed to finish second. You know, I'm telling you, like Rodri, Latora Martinez, and Jude Bellingham all supposed to finish ahead of Vinicius. Like when you think about it factually and stats wise, also that Brazilian thing really threw him down because Jude Bellingham was the La Liga player of the season, right? So
But
we can give it.
clutch,
Yes,
yes.
and he was literally awarded the player of the season, Jude Bellingham. Then you go over to Lautaro Martinez. He won the Copa with Argentina. He did everything. He was a leading goal scorer in Italy. He did everything for club and country. And then obviously Rodri is ahead of him as well. When you look at Vinicius, he absolutely flopped for Brazil, and he probably should not even be in the top three. But because of his experts in obviously the Champions League, I don't know if people value the Champions League more than what you do for your country. That's why they're putting him above and whatever. But listen, man, Vinicius Jr. is an uncomfortable conversation, but he's probably not even third in
Listen,
my
I'm
eyes.
willing to have those conversations because I think you're right. I think people, and that's where I'm going to talk about Bunny Shaw later on in the show, that people are forgetting that it's not just about what you do at club level. I think the majority of that is also what you do at international level, which is why it explains, you know, when Messi won his last Ballon d'Or, because who else
Exactly.
he won the bloody World Cup. What's
Exactly.
better than that? He won the
Exactly.
Cup, you know. So yeah, I don't know. I think, you know, football is a game of opinions, but like you said earlier on, there comes a point where you just cannot argue with facts. Facts are facts. You can't argue with it, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So big up yourself, Krista. Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure.
Thank you
And
for popping on. It's been far too long. It's been way, way, way too long. But yeah, thank you
yeah,
for
listen, I just like pop and listen for like 5 minutes and like the stream and stuff. I don't comment, but I watch a lot of them. And
No, I
then
appreciate it. I appreciate it. I want to ask you one last question though before
sure.
you go quickly. In terms of the Ballon d'Or, second year on the trot where the Ballon d'Or ceremony held in the women's international break, do you think, because you know you don't need me to spell it out for you, if it's held within the international break, obviously key players there are not going to be able to show up to the award ceremony, likewise their head coaches. Do you think that they should potentially boycott the ceremony?
Boy, caught it. Listen, Krista, honestly, I don't follow women's football as much as you do, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Um, but I think it's disrespectful in a way
Mm.
that's done. I'm not sure if boycotting it. I don't know if that's going to send a message. I really don't know how to answer that. I really don't know. But
It's
it's a bit
okay. I want to be
disrespectful.
honest.
It's a bit disrespectful
Yeah.
to and to be honest, I want to say that's how the world runs in terms of football because I
No, but
don't think
you're right.
the women
You're
game
right.
the women's game get as much highlights. Um so I don't know, man. Maybe they need to, and then it will send a message, and then they'll try to find
Yeah,
a balance. Because I'm sure they can pick other days when there's not
they can.
when there's not football happening and stuff. So
100.
you're probably right. You're probably right. It's probably an easy fix, but because they don't give women football as much as a highlight, they just say whatever it is, we work with it.
100%. I won't push you any further. Again, thank you so much for blessing me with your time. Always a
All right,
pleasure.
big up yourself, Crystal. Big up Gunners, boss.
You too, Deemo. Right, guys. That's a familiar face. It's been a real long time since he's popped over onto my channel. Definitely love hearing him speak, and most certainly enjoy talking football with Deemo as well. In case you guys haven't realized, he is a Liverpool fan, also a massive lover of cricket, massive cricket fan. I believe he actually plays cricket as well. I've got someone else in my studio. I'm just going to bring him on. I'm going to mute your mic temporarily, or if you could mute your mic temporarily there, Philip Beckford. Welcome back to the show. It's good to see you on the show. I'm going to be I think he's probably trying to arrange himself, so let him arrange himself in the background, and then I will bring him back on. So yes, I think we can potentially maybe move on from the whole Rodri conversation. I think Gunner's boss and Deemo put the meat to the bones. I don't really think I need to add to what's been said, because I think they've summarized it beautifully. So I think we could potentially move a little bit forward there as it relates to the award ceremony, and for me, the disrespect there that we saw on show as it relates to the women's side of the game. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to maybe, can I do it? I think what I can do is, let's see if I can. Yes, I can. I'm gonna actually bring up a shared screen, or maybe I should just change my shared screen. All right, let's see if I can just change the shared screen. Again, when I'm talking with you guys, I like to talk to you as if you are completely clueless. I'm sorry, it's not belittling. I just know that not everyone watches football religiously. Obviously, not everyone watches women's football, so I pretty much have to start from scratch and try to bring everyone on the same wavelength. Okay, so again, I'm not trying to be belittling. I'm just trying to bring everyone on the same page. So you can see here, Ballon'dor 2024, Rodri and Bon Mati win top football awards. Now, let's see the key bit here, in terms of what can be said. The key bit there, key takeaway, it does say here, Spanish superstars Rodri and Bon Manti have kind of been named just that in terms of the winning the illustrious award there, men's and women's Ballon d'Or award in Paris, in France, and that was in yesterday's evening. So for a bit of more added context there, the awards are seen as the top individual prizes in football and are voted by 100 journalists from around the world. That was a question there that was asked by Gunner's boss in terms of who does the voting. Again, the voting there done by 100 journalists around the world. Again, men's winner, I think more than certainly deserving, is Manchester City's Rodri. And bit of added information there. Man City's midfielder Rodri lost just one game last season. That's including games for club and country. So that is for City and also Spain. And it does say here he was part of the team that beat England in the Euro 2024 final in Germany in July. If you're English, I'm not going to double down on that. I'm not going to not going to speak about that one too much. We know how that one panned out, stars of the show and so on. And meanwhile, for City, he won the Premier League, UEFA Super Cup and Club World Cup. He is the first ever player in the club's history, that is Manchester City, to win the Ballon'dor. As it relates to the women's Ballon'dor, here we go. She's no stranger to the Ballon'dor. Says here that the women's award also went to a Spanish midfielder. Already spoke about the Spaniards. They're doing a clean sweep as it relates to the biggest night's trophy. And it does say here, Matana Bonmati. That's the second year in a row where she, in which she has been crowned the queen of the Ballon'dor, where the women's football is concerned. And it does say, while playing for her club, Barcelona, last season, the team won, get this, guys, every trophy they could. Yes, that means Bonmati and her club, Barcelona, did an absolute clean sweep, winning a quadruple. So this goes back to what I was saying with Gunner's boss. I don't think it can be argued against that she isn't deserving of winning the Ballon d'Or. Definitely it does. And as it relates to Spain, it says, while playing for Spain, she got 4 goals as they went on to win the Women's Nations League title. And a little key quote here from Bonmati. It does say, I always say this is not something that you can do alone. I'm also lucky to be surrounded by wonderful players who helped keep me growing into a better player. Now, as it relates to that boycott there, I will continue with this report. You are looking at the women's coach of the year. That is former Chelsea gaffer Emma Hayes. And she unfortunately, she won the coach of the year for the women's side of the game, but she unfortunately missed out on being present at the night's occasion due to commitments where her new setup is concerned. She's now the new head coach of the USA women's national team. And I will read there where it says, this year's event saw awards given out to coaches for the first time. So how badly does that suck? Mr. Beckford, I think you're still in my studio. I can't see you. I will be with you shortly. Do bear with me. So it's an absolute kick in the teeth there, guys. Think about it. I know that this award is given to what Emma Hayes would have done last year, but just think about it, guys. All her years of hard work, multiple things have come to fruition. Absolutely deserving of picking up last night's award, coach of the year for the women's game. Again, missed it due to commitments with her national setup where the USA is concerned. It does say here, Emma Hayes won the award for the women's game after helping the Blues, that is Chelsea, win a 5th consecutive WSL title, that is the Women's Super League title, top tier of women's football in England, and guiding the team to the final of the League Cup and semi-finals of the Champions League and FA Cup. To iterate what I've already stated in terms of the USA, bit of added context there. Hayes then left the club to become the head coach of the United States women's team, and they defeated Brazil in the final of the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. Real Madrid's Don Carlo, that is Carlo Ancelotti, won the men's coach of the year award, and he guided the Spanish side to a 15th Champions League title and the title for Spain's top football competition, La Liga. So I don't think you can argue with what's been said in terms of the winners that I have just named out, right? In terms of men's and women's, king and queen, Ballon d'Or, and the coaches respectively. Now, here is my gripe, and it's probably, I know some of you are like, can't compare women's football to men's football. I'm not going to do that, okay? So don't disappear. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to rub you guys up the wrong way. And it does say here, a superstar. I think it's safe to call him a superstar. We're going to talk about him in a short while, and we're going to look at who else won at the Ballon d'Or Awards 2024. I'm sure you guys are already aware of this, and if you cast your eyes on what's been highlighted, you probably can anticipate my next direction, right? It does say here the Gerd Muller Trophy. This was a tie. This was given to Kylian Mbappe and Harry Kane. The Socrates Award was given to Jenny Germoso. The Ballon'dor Women, again given to Bon Mati. And the Copper Trophy presented to Lamine Yamal. The male Ballon King is Rodri. Club of the Year is Real Madrid Men. And the Yashin Trophy, given to the best goalkeeper, that is was awarded to Aston Villa's Emiliano Martinez. Women's Club of the Year is was awarded to Barcelona, and again the Women's and Men's Coach of the Year, respectively, was given to Emma Hayes and also Don Carlo. Now, let me try and again polish up everyone's memory, bring us all on the same page. The Gerd Muller Trophy. Now, the Gerd Muller Trophy was initially known as the Striker of the Year or Best Striker of the Year when it was handed out in 2021. Someone in the comment section correct me. Was this the year when Lewandowski was robbed and he was then given the trophy? Let me know in the comment section, right? And its name change following the death of the German striker Gerd Muller in 2021. The Socrates Trophy, the France organizers of the Ballon'dor confirmed in 2022 they were adding a humanitarian award to their ceremony named after former Brazilian footballer Socrates. And what else? The Copper Trophy. And this will all make sense. I just want to make sure that we all have an understanding as to what each trophy means and why and how one can get their hands on the trophy. The Copper Trophy has been awarded at the Ballon'dor ceremony since 2018. 2018, that's the introduction there, where the women's Ballon'dor was introduced, and it is, I should say, claimed by the best performing male footballer under the age of 21. Emphasis on male, and it can be won by players outside of the UEFA competition and leagues, which sets it apart from the Golden Boy Trophy, right? I hope we're all on the same page. I do have Mr. Beckford patiently waiting in the background, so I'm going to stick a pin in it and bring him on screen. Mr. Beckford, it has been a while, maybe over a year since we last chatted. How are you, sir? How you doing? I hope you're in good health.
Good night.
Good
Or I
night.
should say good morning. Morning.
I can take a
Dear
good
sister.
morning as well.
Okay. It's good to be here again. Remember, it was a
Thank
while
you.
now, but good to see you in good spirit.
Thank you. I
Smiling
appreciate
and giving
that.
not the late.
I know. It's been a while, definitely long overdue. But as I said tonight, I wanted to do a call-in show. Want to get back to basic with you guys, rubbing shoulder with you guys, hearing from you guys. So 3 people come on tonight: Gunners, Boss, Deemo, and yourself. So big up you guys for coming on to the live stream. You guys are giving my show an added bit of energy, and it's definitely appreciated. What do you make of what's been said so far? What's been the bit that stood out to you so far?
Well, I missed out some, but what I heard so far, they are on point. Not only the gentleman that joined before, but also in the comment section, I see some good points.
Mhm.
It's such that so ironical that people are putting certain excuses for the winner of this year, Ballon'dor. I'm not going to be biased. I am a City fan, yes, but when it comes on to these awards, I think what went wrong was the fact that in previous year there was some debate on the criteria in which this award should be awarded, and so I think that's where this award become questionable, and it wasn't addressed. So I think it keeps slipping on the value of it being lost, because I know person that have lost interest in this ceremony because they are saying that it's become corrupted on one side, and it all probably starts may prove or show that I think the award they have lost the purpose of this award, because it should be awarded to the best person over a season, because it's not going to be awarded to this current season or the season going on forward, it's the season before. So based on that performance, for club and country will award the best player. And the thing that we should understand is that there will always be a debate on who won or who deserves it, because there is more than one player that are putting up the stats. They're putting in good performance for their country. So, and the fact that it's down to vote, we can argue that sometimes it's unfair, but when you put it into the right perspective, most of the time it's the right decision. And when the right decision is not being made, we can question that. But to say that this year is the unfairly awarded, I think it's it's kind of, I would say it is kind of what's the word?
Justifiable?
Kind of, justifiable. No, not justifiable to say that, because deserve,
Okay,
because
okay,
yeah,
we can go with that.
the stats shows that Roger being the best over last season, not just for City but also for the country.
He's been
And
long one of Manchester City's best player, you know. And I think you're right. I think you're right. And that's why yesterday was the first time in Lord knows how many years where I took an interest. But I'm not gonna lie, the only reason why I was interested in the Ballon'dor was because of Khadija Bunny Shaw. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. That was my only reason for being interested in the Ballon'dor.
yeah, I was looking out for her, but I know that she was at a disadvantage, and the fact that she had injury, which affected the end result of how far City could go in terms of trophy wise, because we
Yeah.
were well set until that injury. We were disappointed, but at the same time, things happen when you have a player like Khadija Rodri injury to a team that depend on them so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna affect
Detriment.
the end product. It's like taking out the main component of something. It will start dysfunction. It will start malfunction in a way, but
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
fully.
Yeah.
So I think
I
that
think
affected the team.
unfortunately with you, sorry to interject, real Alabella, where have you been? Where have you been? I missed you, real Alabella. Big up yourself there, Mr. Jackson. I don't know. I don't think he needs an introduction if you're not familiar with Elite Sports TV, then clearly you're doing something wrong. Do head over to his channel, hit the like and subscribe button, and stay tuned with all things as it relates to the Reggae Girls as well as the Reggae Boys and some club stuff there where the Premier League football is concerned. Okay, Mr. Beckford, I don't know if you want to stay with me for the duration of the show. If you want to pop up at any point, you're more than welcome to do so. I do think, unfortunately for yourself, you do support Manchester City. I think it's safe to say Khadija Bunny Shaw, and I am going to segue into Khadija Bunny Shaw's conversation soon, guys, right? I think it's safe to say, as it relates to Khadija Bunny Shaw's injury there that you touched on, unlike Rodri's injury, it was detrimental to their loss, to getting over the last hurdle, where last season, Women's Super League push for the title is concerned. That one went down to the wire with Emma Hayes and the
Taylor,
unbeatable at times Chelsea sealed the title. So just goes to show just how important Khadija Bunny Shaw is. I am going to talk about her at length at some point during the show, but I just wanted to back up your point.
I agree. But I may not be for the full duration, because unfortunately, when my data is up, that's it, and it
Okay,
probably sold
okay. Okay.
after.
Well, I'll try to like make it quick and just go on with the rest of the show. So hopefully you're able to like catch wind as to what it is I'm saying, and maybe feel free to chime in at any given point, okay? And before you lose your data, again, thank you so much for your continuous support over the years. And it goes without saying, a bit like the rest of the lads that jumped onto the live stream and the guys in the comment section, you guys' support does not go unnoticed. You guys give me a lot of energy that just cannot be misunderstood. So thank you so much for that, okay?
You're welcome, and you deserve it. because it was your authentic that I must say that you have remained honest. I know where people, a lot of us probably don't support female football a lot, but to be honest, I think female football have grown tremendously, and even though people find it unmarketable, I think it's marketable, not basically for every side that is football. But not every club is on Barcelona, but they will eventually get. So you have always give us information that even the federation and bodies are not giving us. So we're very thankful that there's someone here on YouTube. We're thankful that you're the one that is
I
today.
appreciate that. I'm glad to say all my preparation for each of these shows is worthwhile. So thank you for your warm words. Okay. Right, guys, I'm going to continue. Mr. Beckford, feel free to stay on screen. I'm going to continue, guys. I lied again. It wasn't intentional. It wasn't even supposed to be a white lie, but I've gone over my 45 minutes. Silly me, I thought I could wrap this up in 45 minutes. I'm now gone over 1 hour, so I try to speed things up, right? So I've given you guys the context in terms of the awards, the Jared Miller Award, the Socrates Award, the Copper, also the Yashin Trophy, and so on. So you guys have a rough idea as to what's what. Now, one of the things that stood out to me there, I'm sure I've left this on screen and I've highlighted it, and this is where I said, where is the allyship there, right? Because you can see here in terms of the similarities and the lack thereof in terms of the women's awards and the men's awards. Now, I am a firm believer, and this is why I said, I asked the question: should the female players potentially boycott the Ballon'dor? For me, I'm a big fan of going where you're wanted, not where you're tolerated, and it just kind of seemed like, for the most part, when you look at the list of trophy awards here, that they've just been treated like fluff. You've got the clear similarities here is Women's Club of the Year, right? You've got Women's Club of the Year for men and women, right? You've got Women's Club of the Year, men and women. Women's Coach of the Year, this is relatively new. Emma Hayes winning it, and you've also got Men's Coach of the Year. And the obvious one there is the Ballon'dor, male and female. That's where the similarities are. The Socrates Award there, that's a humanitarian award, so I'm assuming that one there can be won by either male or female. But then you get onto the other bit of awards there, Jared Miller Trophy, and also you got the Copper Trophy there, won by this year's winner. I don't think anyone can argue with the young man being crowned the Copper Trophy king. That is Barcelona and Spain's Lamine Yamal. I don't think anyone can argue with him winning that. But in looking back at last night's show, as much as I was definitely happy for the young man, long may his success continue. Naturally, I do like to see balance. I do like to see objectivity as it relates to women's football. I know we can't directly compare it at times to the men's game, but if we're talking about an awards evening and the purpose of the awards evening and so on, I already gave you guys the purpose of the Ballon'dor. So to echo what I said earlier on in the live stream, the Ballon'dor Award honors the year's best players, coaches, and clubs in recognition for their outstanding achievements, right? So when you take into consideration the purpose of these awards, sure, I would have liked to have seen a Copper Trophy again within the context of the Copper Trophy and why it's given out to the respective recipient. I would have liked to have seen that extended there where the women's game is concerned, right? And if you look at Lamal's honors there in his young career, Yamal, my apologies. If I scroll down, and I don't like to use wiki. But if we scroll down and look at some of the stuff there that he has won in his young illustrious career, it speaks for itself, doesn't it? The clearest one there, 2022 2023, as it doesn't relate to winning the this year's award, but for context, he's won La Liga 2022 2023. Also, Kings of Europe winning the 2024 edition of the European Championship, that is the UEFA European Championship. One player that sprung to mind when I was looking at direct comparison is a young queen of Spain, and you should know where I'm going with this one is, again, just looking at the trophy there won by let's see, can you still see that? You can still see it, right? The trophy there won by Yamal. I'm sure you guys can see the context there in front of you. So I was thinking in terms of the fact that, you know, again, the lack there of inequality. I know she's age in mind. She's going up there in age, though she is quite young. She's only what 3 years older than she's only 3 years younger than her compatriot there, Yamal, right? But I would have liked to have seen the young Queen of Spain there in the same brackets in terms of potentially walking away with the Copa trophy there, right? So could they not have done a male and female awards given to the male player and the female player? And I think, you know, it really is a slap in the face to the women's game. You know, paraphrasing, I think Deemo summed it up best in terms of the lack of respect they're given to women footballers. And if you don't need me to look at her honors, but for those of you who don't watch women's football, that could just be to liking or due to your busy schedule, each to their own. You don't have to love women's football. I'm not going to force you to. But if you look at her career there, given that she's only 20 years of age, you can see their honors won there for Barcelona. She's already won the UEFA Women's Champions League. You can see their back-to-back top division winner there. She's done a clean sweep there at club level, basically. And of course at what do you want to call it, at national level where Spain is concerned, FIFA Women's World Cup. I mean, she was instrumental in the 2023 FIFA Women's edition. In terms of UEFA Women's Nations League, she's got that in her back pocket as well. And I just think to myself, you know, for what it's worth, it would have been nice if she could have I'm not going to say give her the award, because as I said, her teammate and compatriot there, I think, is deserving of the award. But when you have an award there for young players like your Yamal, the Copa trophy, you could have, I mean, Ballon'dor, for goodness sake, you could have extended that award to the women's game as well. You know, it's not a case of money, because it's the bloody Ballon'dor. You know how much money it takes to create the Ballon'dor in terms of the trophy itself. I mean, it's a beautiful trophy, and you only have to probably take a moment of your time to look at how that's beautifully put together. It's not no chicken change, it's not no loose change, and football in itself is not a broke business. There is enough money in football to extend that show of support, love, equality onto the women's game. But sadly, unfortunately, that just unfortunately doesn't seem to be the case. Again, whilst I'm on the topic of Salma, the wonderful Salma, here, in case you guys aren't aware, adding to what I've said in terms of her illustrious career, this young lady is only 20 years old. She was born in 2003, for goodness sake. She's going to be 21 in some weeks' time, 13th of November. And it says here, she is the first ever player to have won all 3 World Cups, having won the 2023 FIFA World Cup, the 2022 FIFA U20 World Cup, and the U17 FIFA 2020 18 World Cup. And of course, she was also crowned the Queens of Europe alongside her compatriots there and France. So she's worthy of being awarded of such trophy. Whilst I'm on the topic of the lovely Salma, I'm going to add some meat to the bones. And what I think we should do is, because I am now going to segue and talk about Miss Khadija Bunny Shaw, because in the midst of everything, someone asked a perfect question. Someone said a perfect comment in the comment section. I thought to myself, what the bunny is going on? And I'm just thinking about our lovely Khadija Bunny Shaw, and I'm trying to make sense out of nonsense. Someone asked a lovely question. Someone actually said a wonderful comment. I'm trying to see if I can find it back up. Oh my God, I think I might have lost your comment. Someone in the comment section, I'm sure they said something about Bunny needing to potentially leave Manchester City, right? I think it's this one here. It says Bunny Shaw need to leave City to have a better chance because City have not won. I'm going to leave that on the screen because it's like we're singing from the same hymn sheet. I love when you guys sing with me. We're going to segue and we're going to talk about the women's winners of the illustrious trophy there, the Ballon'dor, right? And again, I'm not trying to waste you guys' time. Introduced in 2018 there, Hegerberg. First winner. Let's look at what Khadija Bunny Shaw is up against, guys. How feasible is it for our compatriots, Khadija Bunny Shaw, to win the Ballon d'Or, right? And it does say here, I will make this as quick as possible. Leon superstar Ada Hegerberg was a deserving first-time winner of, so to say, first ever winner of the Ballon d'Or women when she was presented with the trophy in 2018. Hegerberg had finished the 2017-2018 club season with more than 50 goals, including 15 in the Champions League. She also started 2018-2019 in blistering fashion, ensuring she stood out as the very best in 2018. I'm sure if you guys watch women's football, and even if you just watch the Reggae Girls, you would most certainly know about Megan Rapinoe. Again, Rapinoe's name is no stranger to our shores. But it does say here, Megan Rapinoe dominated the headlines on and off the pitch in 2019, making her voice heard in the fight for gender equality and later emerging as the star of the FIFA Women's World Cup. The Americans scored all 4 of her country's goals in the quarterfinal and semifinal wins, as well as in the final. She finished with the World Cup trophy and with individual golden ball and golden boot prizes. And for context, these are the first 2 winners of the Ballon d'Or, right? So moving along in 2020, obviously we know about the COVID-19 pandemic. I think there was still some politics involved with this one, right? I think this is one of the reasons why people say they don't believe in the Ballon d'Or. Okay, so 2020, no award, right? So moving forward to Alexia Putellas, and she was the 2021 Ballon d'Or queen. And it does say here, the 2021 Ballon d'Or women was always likely to go to a Barcelona winner, so I say player, after their outstanding treble, capped off with a phenomenal Champions League triumph. Alexia Putellas was the heartbeat of that success and enjoyed a terrific individual year, registering an astonishing 37 goals and 27 assists. She also inherited the Barcelona captaincy ahead of the 2021-2022 when Vicky Lasada left the club. And in 2022, she did it again. There you can see 2021 and 2022. Where fast forward 12 months and Putellas was once again up on stage claiming the Ballon d'Or Women Rich Award after another outstanding season with Barcelona. And to gloss over what was done in that particular year, it does say here, key essential here to the conversation around Khadija Bunny Shaw, it does say the standard bearer in the women's game was utterly sensational, captaining Barcelona to a domestic treble during the 2021-2022 season. She scored 18 goals and 15 assists as her side won all 30 of their league games, a truly astonishing record, and also chipped with 11 goals in the Champions League. Now it comes down to the back-to-back, current back-to-back Ballon d'Or winner there, where the women's football is concerned, and that is Bon Mati, 2023 and 2024 winner. It says here, Spain and Barcelona star Etana Bon Mati was the leading favorite for the 2023 Ballon'dor women of the triumphs in Liga F, the Women's Champions League, and also the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. So those are the standard bearers there as it relates to what our Khadija Bunny Shaw is up against. I will say one thing that I did notice, and in case you guys haven't clocked it yet, for context, I think Deemo was right to talk about race, but I mean, you can't avoid the conversation around race, can you? And it's not to rub people up the wrong way, but since we've already scratched the surface on race. Salma, the lovely Salma, the young 20-year-old there, she is the only Black woman there to finish in the top 3 since its introduction there back in 2018. So Miss Khadija Bunny Shaw, she is up against a lot. I will continue with the conversation there around Khadija Bunny Shaw. This season, I should say this year round, she finished 15th in the ranking there where the Ballon'dor is concerned. So for context, second year in a row, Shaw made it into the final shortlist. Again, for a bit of context, when we look at those illustrious accolades won there by those Ballon'dor winners from 2018 to the current. If we look at Khadija Bunny Shaw, again, sound like a broken record. She's won the WSL Golden Boot. She netted 21 goals during that campaign. She went on to be in Manchester City's record club goal scorer, and so on. And unfortunately, an untimely injury clipped her wings and also Manchester City's wings from winning the last year's WSL title. I still think that if she was fit, she would have won that with Manchester City. Now I'm looking at Khadija Bunny Shaw and I'm comparing her to the rest of those big names, their household names, and I'm thinking, can she do it? And that's the reason why I love that comment there that I brought up. Someone in the comment section said they think that Bunny Shaw will have to move clubs, move on from Manchester City, and but you know what? It's not something that there's another comment here. It says Bunny Shaw outclassed some of these women, but because she has not won anything with City, that holds her back. I'm gonna leave that one on screen. I think there's multiple conversations to be had around the possibility of Khadija Bunny Shaw one day winning the Ballon'dor. I do need to double check her age. I actually thought that Bunny was 25, but I was actually quite surprised that she's not 25. I'm holding her back. She is actually 27. Yeah, she's 28 in January. And you know how that goes when it comes to attackers. And it's not to try and put anything negative out there, but unless she keeps her body well conditioned, it's safe to say, irrespective of that, she's now in her prime years. She's now in like her golden years. But saying that to say, back to the conversation around Khadija Bunny Shaw and potentially the possibility of her potentially winning the Ballon'dor, I think there's multiple conversations there to be had. First one off the top of my mind is what happens at the international scene. I think it goes without saying, I decided to share that bit of information there with you guys because I wanted, Deemo again said it, that people seem to forget that it is not just about what happens at club level. It's also more so what you do at the international level that takes you over the line of securing the Ballon'dor. And for Khadija Bunny Shaw, I think that is probably where it's going to rest. I think we now need to see, and I think this is down to the coaching staff more so than Khadija Bunny Shaw. We need to see Khadija Bunny Shaw align what she does at club level into the national setup. Yes, she's been instrumental over the last 2 World Cup campaigns. We've seen times where she's had to grab the game by the scruff of the neck and just see a game out. One of the games there that stood out to me was the DR game back into the World Cups when we were trying to qualify for for the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. A couple of those players had to stand up, and Bunny Shaw was one of them. And I particularly like the ending of that game because DR was just on our back. They were just so irritatingly good, and we knew what we would be up against DR, but there was like 2 moments in that DR match where it was almost as if they pissed Khadija Bunny Shaw off to the point where she was just like, I'm going to kill off this game. The game's already killed, but I'm just going to bury the game and just take the girls home to dry. So we've seen that she has it in her arsenal to grab games by the scruff of the neck. But unfortunately, of lately, if things have been a little bit quiet for Bunny Shaw in the national team, and I've already discussed why that is in terms of coaching or lack thereof, lacking in creativity. And I think, and I'm probably going to rub some people up the wrong way, but I think that our captain, only Lord knows if Khadija Bunny Shaw is still our captain, because there seems to be some top secret stuff there going on as it relates to the Jamaica Football Federation and potentially head coach Busby. Mr. Busby, I'm so disappointed with you that you didn't tell us that the captain for the France match would be Vian Sampson. I thought that was a little bit shady on your behalf. Going back to Bunny Shaw, I think as it relates to the national setup that she is unfortunately distracted by politics. And that could be one of the reasons why it's just we're not seeing the Bunny Shaw that we've seen in recent years when it comes to, donning the black, gold, and green. Class is permanent. She can't be back-to-back Ballon'dor nominee, playing out her socks, winning individual accolades, finishing Team of the Year where Manchester City is concerned, and just not looking the part. And it's not to say she looks poorly for the national team. It's just we know there's so much more to get out of Bunny Shaw. And I think in terms of the international setup there's also that added burden. I remember looking back at the 2019 World Cup where it became well known that Khadija Bunny Shaw handed out, or I should say gifted her teammates with football boots. And that in itself is not a burden, it's more of a blessing. But in terms of the burden there, we can also go back to the last women's football World Cup cycle where Bunny Shaw literally put her hands in her pocket to pay for her teammates' belongings, because that was during the World Cup preparation where the JFF pretty much left the team stranded and therefore they were unable to complete their travel. You can't leave your belongings behind. That was like absolute embarrassment on the Jamaica Football Federation behalf. And that burden there, I think, comes to Bunny because she is the captain. So she probably felt a extra layer of responsibility. She is the most high profile player within the squad, so she again added responsibility, adds to the burden. Goes without saying that she is no doubt the most vocal on off the field matter, and sometimes that can probably be detrimental. Now I think that's detrimental. I have said this before and I say again that I do believe that people around Bunny Shaw have at times just ill-advised her. Whether that's purposely or not, I definitely think that they have to an extent ill-advised there. I think people have and this is just my opinion. Opinions are not facts. This is my opinion from an outsider looking on. I believe that at times people have exploited her affability. If you know Bunny Shaw, you know the reason why I connect affability to her character, right? And I think, as I said, people close to her have ill-advised there to their advantage, not to Bunny Shaw's advantage, not to the team's advantage, to their hidden advantage. Now, as it relates to what she does in terms of the world scene, because we've seen players there, they've been crowned queens when it comes to the Ballon'dor because of stuff that they also do at club international level. For Bunny Shaw, it's not quite there just yet. In terms of off the field matters, there is one moment from the World Cup that really irritated me because I felt like she was hoodwinked into encouraged, egged on to do something that she shouldn't have done. And it was to do with that live stream. At the time, I saw the aftermath of the live stream and I just was too annoyed to even watch it. It's actually, today was the first time that I went back and I know you guys know which live stream I'm referring to. I went back and I watched that live stream because it still exists in the social media. So I went back and I caught a couple seconds of it and I couldn't finish it off. And I was just listening to maybe 10 seconds. I couldn't watch it because there goes again where I just kind of felt like you unintentionally, and I would like to think unintentionally, place Bunny in a unnecessary position. And that for me is a combination of where you look at time and place. It was not the right time to be egging her on to say certain things. I do think she was egged on to say certain things. And, you know, I remember last at the FIFA Women's World Cup where the England players, they had their own paraphrasing dispute with the federation. I think it was to do with maybe pay dispute. Don't quote me on that, but there was some dispute going into the FIFA Women's World Cup, and they pretty much decided that they would not talk politics at the World Cup. So given that you know that the England players are not talking politics, why are you then positioning Bonnie Shaw to discuss politics? I didn't like that. I don't think that it was okay to encourage her to discuss politics and football's biggest stage. Now perhaps I'm being a hypocrite, because more times in order to bring forth meaningful change, we're best to do it that other than football's biggest stage, the World Cup. But that was something that didn't sit well with me. I wasn't a fan of how that unfolded, because I think that could have been better managed. And that again is another point which backs up my opinion, in that I feel like some people you know, encourage our girls to do things that they don't need to be doing, and they're doing it for their own benefit, not for the girls' benefit. Again, that's just my opinion. Don't shoot the messenger. It's just my opinion. Football is a game of opinion. Now that's off the field stuff. Now when we look at the on the field stuff, I think it's definitely just goes without saying that it's been underwhelming, not just for Bunny, but just for our girls in general. We're not taking away what they achieved at the last FIFA Women's World Cup round of 16 knockout stages. Best Jamaica football team performance, bar none. That is including the men's team. But even for her standard, I think it's been underwhelming. 2 World Cup in her back pocket, and it's been underwhelming. Yet to score at a World Cup, yet to put a World Cup goal to her name, and also yes, she does have World Cup assist in her back pocket. But overall, yes, in terms of the collectivity there, the team does definitely lacks creativity. You know, big up Alison Swaby for her goal, but it does definitely lack creativity. Hence the cry for improvement. Now, the standard bearers there, I just wanted to show you guys that screen there with the list of winners from 2018 to the present. I feel bad saying it, but you know, these individual accolades that Bunny's accumulating, it goes without saying that it's just not going to be good enough if we want to see our girl win the Ballon'dor. It just not gonna work. It's not going to be good enough. You know, Golden Boot, fantastic. We pat ourselves on the back with that one. Breaking records, club records, fantastic. Breaking WSL records, wonderful. But when you look at what those ladies have achieved, it's like she's going to be needing to, she has to align herself to those achievements. And that just means that she has to like win titles in the abundance. So we're talking about trebles, we're talking about quadruple, we're talking about her winning the league title. We're talking about a World Cup. I know it sounds crazy, but I think there's a lot of people out there who believe that the Reggae Girls can win the World Cup. Moving on, winning the Champions League, and so on. And even after she does all of that, because like I said, race sometimes has to be discussed. It's not to say that the awards is racist. I am not saying that, but in general, as a Black woman from lived experience, I can tell you, doesn't matter how good you are, when it comes to your white counterparts, you pretty much have to be twice as good. And not only do you have to be twice as good, you have to be 3 times as good. So it's all well and good, maybe Bunny Shaw winning the league there with Manchester City, but it might not be good enough, which is why couple of the comments in the comment section, I think I definitely agree with you that she might have to look elsewhere. That's not to say she can't do it with Manchester City. Manchester City, fantastic team. I have them down to win this year's Women's Super Cup. Does she need to move from Manchester City to win an illustrious honor like the Champions League? Perhaps, perhaps not, because Manchester City's men have managed to win the men's Champions League. So maybe Manchester City can replicate the same, but let's not get it twisted. Let's just remind ourselves how difficult it is to win the Champions League, especially when you're an English club. The only English club to win the UEFA Women's Champions League to date is Arsenal. They're the only ones to win the Champions League. So can City do it? Can they go the distance and win a Champions League? Where the women's team is concerned, it's not impossible, but based on what we've seen in the past, it is going to be a tall ask. But I also think she's going to have to add trophies where Jamaica is concerned before we can even sit here and dream of saying Khadija Banishaw Ballon'dor winner. And again, to reiterate, Salma there, only black woman there in the top 3 since that introduction there. And I think that speaks volumes. I don't know what you guys have to say with regards to what I've said. Mr. Beckford, is there anything that you'd like to add?
Yes. I'll have to do it quick though because time comes. I agree with the comment. With the one that you put up to an
Mm-hmm.
extent, but not fully.
Yeah.
And thanks to those that are in the comment section commenting. But I'm gonna give my take on this. I want the best for my girl, without a doubt. I want the best, and I'm not going to say her chances of winning Ballon'dor is impossible yet until it reaches to where she retired. She's not retired, she's playing football, so that means that dreams live on. It's possible. But I must say, for her to win it, it's more of a limitations problem than her being at City. Her being at a club might affect her chances, but not fully. But I think it's a limitation that surround her internationally and also at club level. Because let me start at the club level. At City, she's doing well. She's scoring the goal. She's assisting. But I've seen where in games where Bunny is scoring and assisting, but the defense is leaking goals, and that cost us match that we should have won. That cost us trophy that we should have won as well. Chelsea have been like a headache to City chances most of the time. And also Arsenal. I must say Arsenal have a really good team. And
Oh,
Man
this
U
is
sometimes
yeah,
get problems.
Arsenal are not giving. I'm not giving Arsenal no energy until they learn to diversify their squad, where it looks representative of their fan base. They're not getting no big ups from me.
They can pull a wild card, but I'm saying when they come to work, they do can upset because they did upset Chelsea last year in one of the cup, and which was good because Chelsea was on the road to winning the trouble. But what I want to say is that the coach is one of the biggest problems because he take long to make certain decision, and I think he's relying more on individual brilliance and the players more than anything else. And you can tell the difference when a coach knows what he's doing from when he don't know what he's fully doing. When you should substitute, when you should make rotation that will help the team, not pressure one set of players. As I said, the defense was really poor last season, which cost us. So I say that in at the club level at City, it's more of the coaching um disability to do his job fully or do it professionally to keep getting results. That is limited shot there because she's scoring the goal and she's putting up some very good performance at City. And the stats even prove it and show it. Alright, in terms of the international level, I would say more of too many pasa go and too many slackness,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, hundred
that's
percent.
something that is affecting. And we don't know. We should understand this. They are playing. They want the best. And it's not people were saying that she want too much, but she's a professional player and she have expectation as well. We might
Hundred.
be disappointed that she wants too much, and the excuse that we keep on getting JFF don't have money. JFF are being slapped because they can make JFF marketable where people can come in and invest. But what they are
Mm-hmm.
doing, they are not doing not enough to make the product marketable. Reggae boys, reggae girls alone itself, name it itself alone is marketable. And I know people will be willing to come on board. But how are you going to come on board when you see that a product that you want to invest in is not working and there's too much controversy surrounding it? You're not going to want to invest. So they are turning away a lot of investors that would have come in and invested both the girls and the boys. And so, all right, this is limiting a lot of things. Sponsorship, it affecting flights, everything else. And we probably not seen it this way, but there's a broader impact than just not just there's not enough money because it goes a long way. They are not every one of the players are being well paid. What
Nope.
happened when they cannot book their own flight and so on. We should look at these things. So Khadija Sharma, yes, she's getting good pay and she's in a better position. But what about the other girls? These things are affecting the players and the performances as well. It's no excuse. I'm not making any excuse. But where there are things that are not put in place, you cannot expect the best all the time. Look at Spain program. They have a continuous program from youth level, and we are seeing what happened. They are reaping reward. And we have seen what happened when you invest in the players from young and also when they are at the senior level. Both male and female are doing very well. Even at the under 17 female workout, Spain is doing well at the moment.
Yeah.
So it shows that they have a program in place. They have a plan. They want to see their football improve. And they have Euros. They have other competition that will keep the girls active. We recently have Nations League, our goal, one of them for the females. That wasn't there, so not enough competition apart from World Cup qualification for the girls. And gender equality is a big problem. And it seems like it's a struggle that we're going to have for a long while. I hope something is done shortly because I see where the female football is getting more attractive because more are getting um enthusiastic about female playing football. And there are good female footballers out there that are doing spectacular things. When I see some of the performance, I say, wow, I can't do that. And the female are doing it. So what are we trying to say? They are marketable just that people think it's a risk and they are not willing to buy into the female, and that probably because of inequality. If there's a level field, for example, some of these awards that they bring in, for a proper ceremony to be held, you have to have awards awarded for both female and male and
Mm-hmm.
both in every category. What they are showing is that there will never be any equality in sports. And that's from the biggest stage ceremony in the world you're talking about. As I said before, money is not the problem. So what is the problem? It's always gonna be equal, gender equality. That's the problem.
No,
But
I,
we
I,
hope
I
that we
agree.
move from that stage.
I agree. I think that like you said that the gender inequality there is quite plain and obvious. Money isn't an issue, and you just said something that even I didn't think of. Like, if this is happening at the Ballon'dor, what chance do we have when it comes to leveraging equality across the women's game? If they're supposed to be like the leaders there, and if they're clearly not doing it, then we're pretty much doomed, which is why I said should the girls and should the girls and the women and the head coaches just boycott it if they do, if this is held in um next year in another international women's window, like should they consider just boycotting the event? Because where how are you even going to attend the ceremony? It's damn near impossible at the moment to attend it because you have international duty to tend to. And only for context, guys, only 8 of the 30 nominees on the women's side attended the ceremony this year, and 7 did so last year. So they're strapped. They can't put the Ballon d'Or over their country.
Yeah, because I've seen matches that were played yesterday and they were in female in the window. So how are they gonna be two players at the same time?
Not
I
possible.
mean, it doesn't take someone with a high brain IQ to look at it that way. But I guess,
Mhm.
as I said, those persons involved, they don't really care about female sports. That not every time is about money, because money is not a problem in sports.
Definitely.
Everybody have their different fans base, and it doesn't matter the sport, as long as it is watchable, people will support your team. It might not be the case in Jamaica for every sports or for female football and all, but I've seen the crowd turn out when we have matches played at the national stadium. They come and they turn out
100%.
for the girls and they turn out for the boys. So that means people want to watch people football, people want to support the girls, people want to support them. But if the JFF is not doing enough, then on the international stage, Khadija Shah won't get enough attributes or get enough exposure to bring herself among those nominees because we cannot disagree that she doesn't deserve. You win quadruple for Barcelona. I must say Barcelona is a well-oiled team and they play some really exciting football. And it's going to take a tremendous amount of work on and off the field to get into that top to be nominated or even win. I mean, she have a chance, but it's kind of slim right now because of the limitation. Not that she's not capable, she's a international star and she have everything to win. But she, other things, other people needs to do what they need to do so that chances can improve just this year.
I agree with what you've said. Oh, Ryan, I don't watch Premier League football no more. I can't be asked with the politics. Premier League football for me, it feels a bit like soap opera. So I've kind of parked that to one side. And as I said, as it relates to my women's team, they don't represent me as a black woman. So I don't give them the time of day. So I'm not a free agent. I don't want no one signing me up. I'm just like neutral for the time being. But big up you guys there with the Premier League football. This is a bit of a cheeky comment because I mean they came as a well-oiled machine to the Emirates Stadium, and everyone probably thought that they were going to completely gun down Arsenal, but they almost pulled the trigger on themselves. So this is a bit of a cheeky comment. But yeah, going forward, I think in terms of the federation, the Jamaica Football Federation, I just think that they're spiteful. Someone said a comment earlier on. I think it was Chorus. Was it Chorus that said the comment? I should have actually commented on it. I think it might have been Chorus that said something. Let me see if I can go back and look at his comments. Warren Webster, big up yourself, Warren. I hope you're in good health. Someone said something, a pimp named Slipback, big up yourself, a pimp named Slipback. Someone said a comment about Bunny and that particular live stream. Where is it? Where is the comment? I can't remember the comment. I can't see the comment, but I do agree with you. I definitely do agree with your comment. I just can't remember where that comment is. I wish I could find it. I think I've
It's on
lost
this
it, you know. Sorry?
on this live.
Yeah, someone made a comment about Bunny and the live stream that I was referring to. I'm sure they did. And I just can't, for the love of God, see the comment again. It's here somewhere, but my eyes just can't pick up on the comment. I guess I just have to say, oh well, I definitely can't see that comment. It's very irritating, but I just can't see the comment. Um Oh, I knew it was Chorus. I think she was drawn out to answer those questions. She was drawn out, and this is why I say that people just don't mean well at times, you know, like stop with the headlines. Like I would have liked for Bunny as the captain to just enjoy that moment, you know, kind of feel like slightly robbed. I can't speak for her of enjoying that moment. Yes, it's in the past, but I hope a moment like that is something that she could learn and just remind herself that she is a household name. And sometimes you just have to, maybe sometimes, you know, as they say, hindsight is a wonderful thing because, you know, you can probably see things better in hindsight than in the moment. That's all I'm going to say where that one is concerned. I've been speaking with you guys for almost 2 hours. Not that I can complain, but you know, tonight I definitely wanted to look at our Khadija Bunny Shaw. I don't think I asked you, Mr. Beckford. What do you make of the captain's armband situation? What do you make of what's going on where our Reggae Girls captains and vice captains are concerned?
To be honest, I was very much caught up with that match friendly. I know there was a friendly, but that day I was busy. I think it was after that I see the result, but I didn't know who was the captain and who was the vice captain. But I think
I
things were a bit fishy leading up too because the squad, even the squad, I was like, why our captain was included? Then we heard that same issue that she had at City. Again, that's mismanagement in my opinion. Because how come you have the only friendly in the international window and yes, still our captain was absent And I think that affected the result a lot because I seen the highlights. I think we have couple good chances. Just the end product was there at the time, but we were we were basically against the wall against France. People were saying that we weren't ready for such a big team, but that is nonsense. You
That is
cannot get better
rubbish.
if you keep on playing side that you can beat. How are you going to get better? They say iron sharpen iron. And in this case, we are being sharpened by France because even though we have a good result in the World Cup, we know that they're going to come hard because they want to prove a point.
I mean,
And they might say prove a point.
no, you're right, because that was one thing that irritated me about the game was that I saw Randy Renard showing her all her 32 after she scored what would have been her brace, but it got wiped out. And I was like, they're taking us for a bunch of mugs. Like, this is just too easy for them. And I think you're right. It was made easier because Bunny Shaw, I'm assuming she's still our captain, although it feels like she isn't, and until I'm told otherwise, I don't really know which way to go. Kind of feels like she's not our captain. You missed the game against France. The captain's armband was presented to Vian Sampson. And paraphrasing in the post-match conference, she also said that she was taken aback, so she was surprised to be given the captain's armband. Who the vice captain is, don't ask me because I don't know. But I would have assumed that the captain's armband for the game against France would have gone to Alison Swaby because she was, from what I know, was the vice captain all along. So that's what I'm saying. Like, who's the captain? Who's the vice captain? There needs to be some clarity on that. And that's where I'm disappointed with Busby, because Busby came out in the team announcement and he told us about all changes to the squad in terms of, bringing in the legend, Dion Burton, Reggae Boy legend Dion Burton, and also making other tweaks to where the coaching setup is concerned. I would have thought it's equally as important to name your captain. So I'm disappointed with him. If he dared to think that he hoodwinked us, he's sadly mistaken.
Yeah, we are tired of this kind of approach. It's like we are being held at, I don't want to say it, but we are being held. It's like they are preventing us from getting what they support us to get and looking for it. And these information are important to us. As they might not think so, but I don't know. They keep on doing things that is questionable. We are the one that is in the dark. I mean, there are certain things that could be announced before and after the games, so that we can be up to date or up to scratch because of what's going on. And also, I think the camp, there's not to my understanding, I don't think everything is all right in the camp.
No, it
Certain things that
doesn't.
are
Yeah, I'm
dealing.
glad you said it. I'm glad. It just seems like something just doesn't feel right. From an outsider looking on, it just looks off. There's something that just looks off. And look, we could be right, but something just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel right at all.
Too much dilly dally, too much hiding and so on. I mean, when I was even surprised they brought back him as a coach, and all those controversies around coaches before and manage how they get rid of coaches, how they bring back coaches and so on. It's too many controversy, and they should remain realized that all of these is affecting the players and their performance. Because when they should be focusing on the games and focusing on the pictures ahead, they are focusing on all the controversy that is going on between the coaches, the JFF, and I think most of these people that are put in leadership position, they are not professional is they are behaving like, when me and you live, we have our bad game and when it's bad, you don't talk to me and me don't talk to you right here. So and it's
Yeah,
just malice and
yeah,
it's just that same mentality, and these things should be cut out because those are things of the old. We are
yeah.
looking at things going professional now. Too many vexation. We are big people. We should deal with things more amicable, more professional. And so far we are not seeing it.
No, I agree with you. And I think keyword there is amicably, vexation. And I think you see that vexation spilled over into the YouTube circuit. Now, I don't know what secrets some of the YouTubers have for the reggae girls. I don't know where the resentment comes from, but they, for me, are taking up problems that belongs to the orchestrator in the high echelon of the Jamaica Football Federation, and they're taking it on themselves to beat these girls, which I don't really understand, because nothing that some of them say holds water as it relates to the bashing of the Jamaica women's senior national team. And even when the B squad stepped up due to the girls being unavailable there for a while, you know, due to the dispute between the federation, even they were taking a bashing. So there seems to be a lot of like bitterness and spite going on from the orchestrator there in the Jamaica Football Federation, in the high echelon, and also even within the same YouTube, the couple YouTubers as well. Like they've been trying to like G-check a couple of the reggae girls. I don't really know what benefit they get out of that as a man, picking on women. I'm not really sure what benefit they get out of that, but there's definitely a lot going on. You look at the promotion around the reggae girls. I mean, the social media for the Jamaica Football Federation, they started promoting the men's up and coming game there against the United States, whilst they could have also been promoting the France game. Yes, I know that we're not playing in Jamaica, but there's a host of Jamaicans living in Europe who would have loved to have made that trip to France to help, you know, elevate the girls and be the 12th man. But Jamaica Football Federation were concerned about the match against USA, and they were doing the promotion before, during, and as soon as 90 minutes came to an end, again, it's just all about the men's team. So they're not even hiding, they're just brawling. You know, they can't even take themselves to one side and hide themselves. They're just brawling with the disrespect.
I mean, it's thanks to Google, because if it weren't Google, I didn't know that there was a friend. Secondly, but it was because of your last live that
Yeah,
I came. I knew about the friendly. There was nothing,
exactly.
no, nothing was being circulated, and I'm like, and then
Nothing.
I was expecting, yes, it's international break, but I'm used to us not really having a game in international break. So
Sad.
to hear
Yeah,
that there was
sad.
a game, I was kind of out of hope. We're playing France and there's no build up to this. We didn't know that there were new players until you said it, and also I see some names that I were familiar with when you started and saying, I know that is a big France. We probably might not win, but even if it's reggae boys, whether our chances are slim or not of winning,
That's getting
facts still remain.
promoted.
It's facts still remain. We have an important game. It's an international
Mm-hmm.
friend, so it have
Mm-hmm.
some importance because that is going to affect
100%.
our ranking and other things.
Yes,
So we want the
it's
best.
important. It's important. And adding to what I said, Horace, this is one of the things, like with me, I'm in the process of speaking to a agent to do a interview, and I had to kind of let him know, for context, I reached out to his player several weeks back and she agreed to do the interview. Coincidentally, the agent then reached out to me and basically asked if I would like to interview his player. And I basically told him, you know, I've already reached out to her. So now I'm in the process of liaising with the agent. I think he might have assumed that the interview was supposed to be for this Wednesday, but I had to tell him that I don't like to interview players during like international break. I'm not sure if I told him that, but basically I just had to just let him know that the interview wouldn't be for this Wednesday, because I just don't like to interview players within international break unless it's an absolute must. Because like what Chorus is saying here, interviews can be disruptive at times. And the last thing I want to do is disrupt you or distract you. Now, if I'm doing a live stream and a player is in the comment section, I can't stop that. If the player then wants to come on live stream after we ask them, I also can't stop that. It's happened before. You know, you guys have been here and saw Tiffany Cameron in the comment section, and then she came on live stream why she was in camp, but we didn't do an interview because I know that I don't want to position her in a awkward position. I could have been gone for the headlines, gone for the clicks, and asked some thought-provoking question, but she came on the live stream and it was just a little big up section. It was nothing to do with being controversial.
And I want to say about saying things when you're being interviewed. There are times when you should understand that when you're in the heat of the moment and when you're in the heat of the moment after, there are two different modes that you will. When you're in the actual mood and you're still in celebratory mode, you're like you're liable to say certain things, and so certain things that come to mind you're going to say, but it probably after you go back and listen, and probably after it come to that you say, oh my gosh, did I say that? I shouldn't say that, but you already said it. And in that case, I don't think it's right for us to just go and bash the players, because with in the heat of the moment anything can be said, and you have to understand that players is going through emotional stuff. They are going to say
100%,
things.
100%. Yeah.
I
I
mean,
think I agree with you. Sorry to interject. I agree with you, but I also think that the media have to hold some sort of responsibility as well, because like you said, there's no way I'm going to sit here and drag Bunny for what was said, because you know me as somebody who works in the media, I wouldn't put her under that spotlight there and then. So for the Reggae Girls, I've said it before, like maybe 2+ years back, that the more popular they get, people will try to rub shoulders with them. And they're intelligent girls. You got to know like who's with you and who's not with you. I'm not saying don't speak to certain people or do speak to only certain people. I'm not saying that, but it probably would help you, help your brand, help your position if you speak to people who know about the intricacies of your situation and the delicate situation that you're in as it relates to the Jamaica Football Federation. Know that, hey, look, I can't egg you on because it could have detrimental impact on your relationship with the federation. Certain questions, what I'm trying to say is certain conversation, you got to have certain conversation off air. It's not everything that should be said on air. Do you see what I'm saying, Mr. Beckford?
yes, you're right. But then again, the media is just so hungry for getting things, certain information out in a case where it can go viral, or where they can gain viewership and so on. And those are the things that people don't understand. The media don't really care about your feelings at times. They
No,
just want
no.
something that can sell, because they are marketing their thing. It's a product. Their product is to bring certain things that will sell fast. People nowadays don't really do like the positive. So if she said 99% of what she said was positive, they are looking for the one negative and
Negative.
twist it and have a next heading and say she said that or this and that. But the reality is that wasn't what she was saying. But that the
Yeah.
media have to sell their product, and that's their way of selling. So I don't normally jump to media critics or heading and make my judgment. I'll probably
Yeah.
listen the entire conversation and see where it's coming from. Why they extract that, why they throw away those and they take out this. Because they are doing their thing. Don't
100%
judge
going for
a
the headlines. Going for the headlines. Before I close off on the show, captain situation. Who's your captain? Who would you, if we are choosing a new captain? Who's your captain? Who's your vice captain?
All right. I would say this one is a sticky one. I should pick a sticky one. And I hope those in the comment section, those listening, they don't bash me, because
Yeah, I
this is
don't
my
think they
opinion.
will. They will bash you.
This is my opinion. So I would give um I think the Swaby sisters are up there. They have done tremendously.
Yeah.
Probably not in everyone's opinion in terms of defense, but they are being at the heart of defense most of the matches, and they have made themselves they are putting good work, and they try their best, and I can see the passion. So I would probably give one of the Swaby sisters.
Big Swaby or
a-
Lucas Swaby? Chantal or Alison?
Um, I would say any one of them could have been given. I don't want to create any problem. Um, Cameron probably Drew Spence and not just Drew Spence, but Rebecca Spencer. I must say she has stand out. She has stood out in many matches, and
Yeah.
it's because of her expertise in her role in the team. She owned that role. She did very well. I mean, goal scorer, yes, but most of the time she have put off some brilliant saves that you're probably wondering if this is that goalkeeper that I see back pick and save a ball. I
Oh
don't
yeah.
remember. She has that quality. So I would give she could be the captain as well. Because as she
Mm.
where she instructing, she's marshalling and she's trying to position the defense. Sometimes it's not well organized. So she could be even the captain, and if not, she could get the vice captain. So there are the players that I could give a shout. But Rebecca Spencer stand out. The Swaby sisters as well. Say Drew Spence not bad. Fanny Cameron good. I mean,
Yeah.
then I don't know if she has good game, bad game, but that's part of football. You're not going to have a good game every time unless
I
you are Rodri, probably are one man.
yeah. I actually think the common thing is a lot of people actually in the comment section are on my last show I should say leaning towards Big Swaby. So when you said Swaby sisters, I laughed because I've actually heard it before. People are quite saying, you know, that yeah, they think Big Swaby should be the captain. That is if they've changed captains, because as I said, I don't have a bloody clue what's going on. Um because the Jamaica Football Federation is just very weird and they're quite secretive. And I'm disappointed that Busby is as secretive as them. I thought he would do better, but unfortunately he isn't at the moment. So yeah, some people are actually shouting for Big Swaby to be the captain. That's if Bonnie is no longer the captain, because it kind of feels like she isn't.
But if they change the captain, they should give us a good reason. Because not there,
A
pressure.
damn good reason why it just feels to me that the captain has been the captain's armband's been changed. It just that's just the way it feels to me at the moment, that yeah, they've gone ahead and changed the captain. But only time will tell, you know, because everything that I'm saying, bulk of what I'm saying, other than the stats from tonight's show is opinion, you know, it's my opinion at the end of the day, not factual, just opinion, guys, okay? So don't go off and say that Bonnie Shaw is no longer the captain. No, I've not said that. I actually don't know if Bonnie is still the captain. But as I said, it just doesn't feel like she is the captain for us. I'm trying to get something up before I close off on tonight's show. Let me see. So I'm going to add some meat to the bones to what I said there. This is for the guys here. I know I touched on Jude Bellingham. Let's add some back the facts up where Jude Bellingham is concerned. I was concerned about who was the last Englishman there to be in the highest ranking where the Ballon'dor is concerned. I've gone ahead and found something there for you guys. I hope you can see on the screen in front of you. You should be able to. If you can't see it, don't worry, I got you covered. It says Jude Bellingham, and this is about this year's outcome of the men's Ballon d'Or. Jude Bellingham, third place, is the first Englishman of the Ballon d'Or podium since Frank Lampard and also Steven Gerrard in 2005. That is second and third, respectively. And the 21-year-old, 21 days, the youngest Englishman to do so since Duncan Edwards in 1957. And Duncan was 21 years old, 77 days with a third place finish. Represent. And that is how we're looking there where the Ballon d'Or is concerned. I think unfortunately Mr. Beckford's um He did say to us that his data is due to finish, but I thought I was a little I couldn't quite remember if it was Frank Lampard or Michael Owen. Turns out that it was actually Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard. All right. So again, my purpose is not to misinform you guys. Wasn't entirely confident about that, hence having to just double check for you guys before I close off on the show. One of my longest live streams. I think, let me know in the comment section before I go. I got maybe 3 more minutes with you guys. Let me know if you want me to continue with these call-ins. I actually enjoyed tonight's live stream a lot, even though we've been speaking for over 2 hours. Definitely enjoyed tonight's live stream, and with that I've worked up an appetite. Don't judge me, it is 3 a.m. in the morning. Of course I'm going to stuff my face because I'm hungry. Why not? Can't go to bed hungry. Yeah. I'm talking about like recently. Yes. I did mention Michael Owen. I mentioned Michael Owen, but I was for clarity, I was speaking about like recently, hence the confusion. I couldn't quite remember because Michael Owen would have won it more, finished higher than Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard within those years there on screen. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does make sense. Let me see the year that Michael Owen won the Ballon'dor, because I'm not gonna act like I know. I don't. Ballon'dor. So he won the Ballon'dor in 2001. So as I was saying, in terms of most recently, right? He won it in 2001. The guys there on the screen, Bellingham finished third in this year's Ballon'dor. Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard, they finished second and third respectively in 2005. Okay, so that is the context there. But thank you for your comments. I definitely appreciate it. I've got about under 1 more minute to go until I close off on my live stream. Let me know. Maybe not right now, but if you're watching this on replay, let me know if you want us to stick with the call-in show. I think I'll answer that one for myself. Yes, stick with the call-in show. I am absolutely parched and starving as well, so I'm gonna go stuff my face. If you are out and about, I hope that you make it home safe and unharmed. I don't think you're seeing my face tomorrow unless something comes up. I might pop up and give you guys another live stream. If not, what day is it for me? It's Wednesday already, so my next live stream should be on Friday with you guys. If I don't see between then and now and Friday, I do hope that you enjoy the midweek. If you are out and about making it home from home or work, I do hope that you make it home safe and unharmed. Making it through your doors is a underrated blessing. And if I do not see you guys over the weekend, I do hope that you have a smashing weekend. If you're out and about, do take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Pray to God that you make it home safe and unharmed. If you're new to the channel, I do hope that you go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Thank you to those of you who have already hit the like button. To my special guest, unexpectedly, Gunner's boss, Deemo, Dre, and also Mr. Beckford. Thank you guys for blessing me with a moment of your time. Big up you guys there in the comment section. I don't want to attempt to name you all because I would have forgotten someone's name, and I do not want to do that at all. But thank you guys for blessing me with a moment of your time. On your way out, do remember to hit the like button, and you know how it goes. Until next time, take care.
I'm John Barnes, and you're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.